The silent observer. Chief Observer Vextal adjusted the sensitivity of her ship's passive sensors for the third time that cycle, her four eyes blinking in sequence as she studied the readings. The Concordiate science vessel, Eternal Curiosity, hung motionless in the shadow of a dark matter cloud, its advanced stealth systems rendering it nearly undetectable to conventional scanners. Their mission was simple: observe the newly discovered spacefaring species known as humans in their natural habitat, without interference or detection. The mining operation they'd been studying for the past 30 rotations seemed almost primitive at first glance. A single station orbiting a mineral-rich asteroid belt, with just 3 small ships servicing it. The humans called it Deep Horizon Station. The Concordiate's preliminary reports had dismissed it as a basic resource extraction facility, hardly worth the attention of their finest xenoanthropologists. But Vextal had noticed patterns. "Magnify Sector 7, she commanded, her lower arms inputting coordinates while her upper ones adjusted the holographic display. Track mining vessel designation Alpha. The smallest of the 3 human ships came into focus. It was an ungainly thing by Concordiate standards. All sharp angles and exposed structural elements, with 4 massive drilling arrays mounted on retractable arms. But as Vextal watched, she saw it performing a maneuver that should have been impossible for such a crude vessel. The ship was approaching a nickel-iron asteroid roughly twice its size, but instead of the expected straight-line approach, it was executing a complex spiral pattern. The drilling arrays were rotating in sequence, creating a resonance pattern in the asteroid's magnetic field. "Senior Engineer Telener," Vextal called out. "Are you seeing this?" The ship's chief engineer floated over to her station, his bioluminescent patches pulsing with interest. "Fascinating," he chittered. "They're using the magnetic field interaction to identify structural weaknesses. But that's not the impressive part. Watch the drill heads." As they observed, the human ship made contact with the asteroid. Instead of the brutal force they'd expected, the drills barely seemed to touch the surface. Yet the asteroid was rapidly being reduced to manageable chunks, far more efficiently than any Concordia mining operation could manage. How are they achieving that level of precision with such basic equipment? Vextal wondered aloud. Telnir's patches flashed in a pattern indicating excitement and professional respect. "That's just it, observer. The equipment isn't basic at all. Those crude drills are actually incredibly sophisticated resonance tools. They're not just cutting the rock, they're using precisely calibrated vibrations to break it apart at a molecular level. It's brilliant in its simplicity." Vextal's attention was drawn to a new reading. The fragments of the asteroid weren't simply being collected, they were being processed in transit. Somehow, the humans had managed to miniaturize resource processing technology to the point where it could operate in real time during collection. "Their entire approach to resource extraction is different from ours," Telener continued, his voice filled with professional admiration. "We build massive operations with hundreds of specialized ships and thousands of crew members. They've created a system so efficient it can be run by a handful of humans with ships that can fill multiple roles." A sudden alert drew their attention. One of the larger asteroids in the belt had begun to show signs of instability. Its core, superheated by solar radiation, was approaching critical pressure. The human mining vessels seemed oblivious to the danger. "Should we break protocol and warn them?" Telener asked, his patches pulsing with concern. Before Vextal could respond, the humans acted. All 3 mining ships moved in perfect coordination, their drill arrays realigning into configurations she hadn't seen before. They took up positions around the unstable asteroid in a triangular formation. They knew, Vextal realized. They detected the instability before our sensors did. What happened next left both Concordiate observers speechless. The drilling arrays fired in sequence, but instead of breaking the asteroid apart, they created a network of precisely calculated fissures throughout its structure. The building pressure found controlled release points, transforming what could have been a catastrophic explosion into a gentle breaking apart of the asteroid into dozens of manageable pieces. The precision required for that kind of operation. Telnir's voice trailed off. We couldn't do that with our most advanced mining fleets. Vextal made a decision. She opened a secure channel to Concordia's Central Command. This is Chief Observer Vextal. I recommend immediate reclassification of human technological capabilities, particularly in the fields of resource extraction and materials processing. Previous assessments have severely underestimated their advancement level. She watched as the human ships began efficiently processing the fragments of the asteroid they'd just saved from destruction. Each piece was being transformed into useful resources with minimal waste, using techniques that the Concordia's best engineers would need years to fully understand. Their technology isn't primitive, she continued her report. It's elegant. They've taken a completely different evolutionary path in their technological development, focusing on efficiency and adaptability rather than raw power. Request permission to establish a long-term observation post. There is much we could learn from these humans. As she waited for a response from command, Vextal continued to watch the human mining operation with new eyes. What other surprises would these resourceful creatures reveal? She had a feeling they'd only scratched the surface of understanding human ingenuity. The Eternal Curiosity maintained its silent vigil, its crew now paying much closer attention to the supposedly primitive mining operation. Sometimes, Vextal reflected, the greatest discoveries came from questioning your most basic assumptions. These humans were proving to be far more interesting than anyone had anticipated. The adaptive edge. 3 solar cycles had passed since the Eternal Curiosity began its observation of the human mining operation, and Chief Observer Vextal found herself increasingly fascinated by their methods. Today, however, something was different. The humans had encountered an unexpected challenge, and the entire Concordia observation team was eager to see how they would respond. The mining vessel Alpha had discovered an asteroid unlike any previously encountered in the belt. Initial scans from the Eternal Curiosity revealed why. It was artificial, or at least partially so. The core readings suggested it was the remnant of an ancient alien vessel, possibly predating both human and Concordia space travel, now encased in millions of years of accumulated space debris. Remarkable, Senior Engineer Telnir commented, his bioluminescent patches pulsing rapidly. Their standard drilling approach would likely damage whatever artifacts might be preserved inside. Surely they'll have to retreat and request specialized archaeological equipment. Vextal wasn't so certain. Over the past cycles, she'd learned not to underestimate human resourcefulness. Keep watching, she instructed her crew. The human mining vessel held position near the artificial asteroid, its drilling arrays powered down but not retracted. Through their enhanced sensors, the Concordia observers could detect intense communication between the ship and Deep Horizon Station. After approximately 30 minutes, barely enough time for a proper risk assessment by Concordia standards, activity resumed. They're not retreating, Telnir observed, his patches now pulsing with concern. But they're modifying their approach. The mining vessel's drilling arrays began to move in an entirely new configuration. Instead of their usual aggressive resource extraction pattern, they were operating with extraordinarily fine precision. The resonance frequencies had been adjusted to previously unused wavelengths. They've reprogrammed their entire extraction system, one of the junior engineers reported, her voice filled with disbelief. They're using the drilling arrays as scanning devices. Vextal leaned forward in her observation pod, all 4 eyes focused intently on the display. The human ship was using its drilling equipment to create a 3-dimensional map of the asteroid's interior. The resonance waves bouncing back with detailed information about density changes and material composition. The processing computers on that ship shouldn't be capable of handling this level of data, Telnir noted. The complexity of the calculations required. Look at the station, Vextal interrupted. Deep Horizon Station had realigned its communication arrays, creating a linked network with the mining vessel. They were sharing processing power, transforming their modest infrastructure into a distributed supercomputer. As they watched, the humans began the delicate work of accessing the ancient vessel. The drilling arrays, now operating with surgical precision, carved a careful path through the accumulated debris. Each cut was calculated to maintain structural integrity while creating a stable access tunnel. They turned mining equipment into archaeological tools. Telener marveled. The adaptability of their technology is unprecedented. The operation continued for several hours. The humans worked methodically, each movement precise and purposeful. When they finally reached the core of the asteroid, they discovered something that caused excitement among both the human crew and their hidden observers. The ancient vessel was largely intact, its hull made of an unknown alloy that had preserved it through countless millennia. The humans, showing remarkable restraint, did not immediately attempt to breach the hull. Instead, they began a careful process of extracting the entire structure, using their modified drilling arrays to carefully separate it from its mineral cocoon. Send this data to Concordia Archaeological Division. Vextel instructed her communications officer. They'll want to know about this discovery, but more importantly, they need to see how the humans handled it. The extraction process was nearly complete when disaster struck. A previously undetected energy source within the ancient vessel suddenly activated, sending out pulses of exotic radiation. The human mining vessel's shields, which the Concordia observers hadn't even realized it possessed, flared to life. Emergency protocols, Vextal called out, but once again, the humans proved faster than their observers. The mining vessel's drilling arrays transformed once more, their resonance patterns shifting to match and counter the energy pulses from the ancient ship. They were using their mining equipment as a containment system, creating a stable energy field around the dangerous artifact. Impossible, Telener whispered, his patches nearly white with amazement. They couldn't have planned for this contingency. They're innovating in real time. The humans didn't stop there. While maintaining the containment field, they began using their processing systems to analyze the energy patterns. Within minutes, they had not only contained the threat but were actively studying it, learning from it. Update the technological assessment again, Vextal commanded. Their mining technology isn't just advanced, it's intentionally designed to be adaptable to unknown situations. Every tool they create can serve multiple functions. They don't just solve problems. They transform their challenges into opportunities. The crisis passed as quickly as it had begun. The humans successfully stabilized the ancient vessel, their quick thinking and adaptive technology preventing what could have been a catastrophic release of unknown energies. But they weren't finished surprising their hidden observers. As the mining vessel began its careful journey back to Deep Horizon Station with its precious cargo, Vextal noticed something extraordinary about its energy readings. The ship's power systems were operating more efficiently than before the incident. They've already incorporated what they learned from the ancient vessel's energy pulse, Telener realized. They didn't just contain the problem. They studied it, understood it, and improved their own technology because of it. Vextal felt a new emotion stirring in her consciousness, not just scientific curiosity now, but something approaching awe. These humans didn't just adapt to survive, they adapted to thrive, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth and innovation. Send a priority message to command, she instructed. Recommend immediate diplomatic contact with human authorities. We've been studying them as primitive curiosities, but I believe they could teach us far more than we could teach them. As the mining vessel docked with Deep Horizon Station, its modified systems now operating at unprecedented efficiency levels, Vextal couldn't help but wonder how many other supposedly primitive human technologies were actually marvels of adaptive engineering, just waiting for the right challenge to reveal their true potential. The Eternal Curiosity maintained its silent watch, but its crew's perspective had been forever changed. They had come to study what they thought was a simple mining operation. Instead, they were witnessing the emergence of a species that could reshape the very fundamentals of technological development. Crisis point. The warning came from both ships simultaneously. Deep Horizon Station sensors, and the Eternal Curiosity's advanced detection systems registered the imminent danger at the same moment. A massive solar storm, far more powerful than anything previously recorded in this system, was about to hit. Vextal's decision was immediate. Deactivate stealth systems. Open communications with the human station. Observer. Telenor protested, his bioluminescent patches flashing with alarm. Protocol dictates. Protocol won't matter if we're all dead. Vextal cut him off. Their station isn't equipped to handle a storm of this magnitude. And even our shields might not be enough alone. The Eternal Curiosity shimmered into visibility less than a kilometer from Deep Horizon Station. The human response was remarkably composed. No panic, no immediate defensive actions. Instead, a calm voice came through on general frequencies. Unknown vessel, this is Station Commander Sarah Chen of Deep Horizon. I'm guessing since you've chosen this moment to reveal yourself, you've detected the same problem we have. This is Chief Observer Vextal of the Concordiate science vessel Eternal Curiosity. Vextal responded, her translator converting her complex harmonics into human speech. We've been studying your mining operation. But right now, we have approximately 47 minutes before the solar storm hits. Your station's shields won't survive it. There was a brief pause before Commander Chen replied. 45 minutes by our calculations, but who's counting? We've been aware of your presence for the past week, Observer Vextal. Your stealth technology is impressive, but our mining sensors detected the gravitational micro-distortions from your drive system. We were waiting to see when you'd make contact. Vextal's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, the Concordia equivalent of surprised laughter. Of course they had known. She was beginning to understand that humans were constantly exceeding expectations. Commander, she said, we can extend our shields to protect your station. But even then, the combined power might not be enough to withstand the full force of the storm. Agreed, Chen responded. But I have an idea. Your ship has been watching us long enough to understand our drilling technology. How would you feel about a little impromptu collaboration? Over the next 10 minutes, Commander Chen outlined a plan that was either brilliant or insane, possibly both. The human mining vessels would use their modified drilling arrays, the same ones that had contained the energy pulse from the ancient vessel, to create a series of resonating fields around both ships. The drilling arrays can generate containment fields that adapt to energy patterns, Chen explained. If we calibrate them correctly, they could reinforce your shields, not just adding power, but creating a more flexible defense that can bend rather than break under the storm's force. Telenor's patches were pulsing with rapid calculations. The theoretical physics is sound, he admitted, but the precision required to maintain such a field network. That's where you come in, Chen said. Your ship's computers are more powerful than ours. We can provide the raw energy manipulation through our drilling arrays, but you'll need to handle the mathematical modeling to keep it all synchronized. Vextal made her decision. We have 33 minutes. Let's begin. What followed was a masterclass in cross-species cooperation. The 3 human mining vessels moved into precise positions around both the station and the Eternal Curiosity. Their drilling arrays, originally designed for breaking apart asteroids, now extended like protective fingers around the 2 vessels. The Concordia engineering team worked frantically with their human counterparts, integrating their systems to create something entirely new. Human ingenuity combined with Concordiate computational power, creating a hybrid defense system that had never existed before. Energy levels aligned. Telenor reported, field resonance patterns are stable. But these readings, observer, you need to see this. The hybrid shield system wasn't just working, it was evolving. The human drilling arrays were learning from the Concordiate shield harmonics, automatically adjusting their frequencies to create stronger overlapping patterns. At the same time, the Concordiate shields were adapting to match the more flexible nature of the human containment fields. 15 minutes to impact, Commander Chen announced. Initial wave approaching. all mining vessels, adjust your resonance patterns to match the incoming frequencies. Eternal curiosity, can your computers handle the real-time calculations? Affirmative. Telener responded, his patches glowing with intense concentration. But Commander, these energy patterns, your drilling arrays are doing more than just creating containment fields. They're converting some of the incoming solar energy into usable power. Chen finished. Yes, that's something we discovered during the incident with the ancient vessel. Why waste all that energy by just blocking it? The first waves of the solar storm hit their combined shields. The vista around them transformed into a spectacular and terrifying display of cosmic fury. Radiation levels that would have melted through normal defenses crashed against their hybrid shield system. The human drilling arrays pulsed with impossible colors as they absorbed and redirected portions of the solar storm's energy. The Eternal Curiosity's shield harmonics shifted in perfect synchronization, creating patterns that dispersed what couldn't be absorbed. It was a dance of technology and physics that neither species could have achieved alone. Main wave approaching, Vextal announced. Brace for impact. The storm's peak hit them with the force of a small sun. For a moment, every sensor and screen on both vessels overloaded. In that terrible silence, Vextal feared they had failed. Then the readings returned. The hybrid shield system was holding. More than holding. It was thriving. The human drilling arrays had adapted to the increased energy levels, creating even more efficient convergent patterns. The Concordiate shields, guided by their superior computers, were distributing the load perfectly across the entire network. Energy conversion rate at 130% of theoretical maximum. Telener reported, his patches pulsing with joy and disbelief. We're not just surviving this storm, we're harnessing it. Commander Chen's voice carried a smile. We've routed the converted energy into both vessels' storage systems. By my calculations, we've just gained enough power to run both ships at full capacity for the next 3 months. Not bad for 45 minutes of improvisation. As the storm began to fade, Vextal looked at her readouts with new understanding. The humans hadn't just helped them survive. They had turned a potential disaster into an opportunity for advancement. Their technological philosophy wasn't about building the biggest or most powerful systems, but about creating tools that could adapt and evolve to meet any challenge. Commander Chen, Vextal said formally, I believe this marks a significant moment for both our species. Would you be interested in discussing a more permanent technological exchange program? I thought you'd never ask, Chen replied. Why don't you dock with us? Our cafeteria just finished synthesizing some new coffee variants. I'd love to see if we can adapt them to your physiology. After all, that seems to be what we're best at, adapting. As the Eternal Curiosity moved to dock with Deep Horizon Station, Vextal reflected on how much had changed in less than an hour. They had come to study what they thought was a primitive mining operation. Instead, they had found partners who could help reshape their understanding of what technology could be. The solar storm continued to rage around their combined shields, but inside, human and Concordiate crews were already beginning to share ideas, each learning from the other's perspective. It was, Vextal thought, a perfect example of both species' greatest strength, the ability to transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Breaking point. The initial euphoria of successful cooperation between Deep Horizon Station and the Eternal Curiosity had barely settled when the raiders arrived. 3 sleek, predatory vessels dropped out of faster-than-light travel on the far side of the asteroid belt, their weapon systems already charging. Vorkath pirates. Telener identified them, his bioluminescent patches dimming with concern. They must have detected the energy surge from the solar storm and come to investigate. Commander Chen's voice came through the now-shared communication system, calm but focused. Our long-range scans show their shields are significantly more powerful than anything we've encountered before. Suggestions. Standard protocol would be to retreat, Vextal admitted. The Eternal Curiosity is a science vessel, and your mining ships. She trailed off as she noticed something odd about the human vessel's movements. During their conversation, all three mining ships had quietly repositioned themselves in a pattern she didn't recognize. "Commander," Vextall asked, "what are your mining vessels doing?" "Something we'd hoped we'd never need to test outside of simulations," Chen replied. "Remember how our drilling arrays can be reprogrammed for different functions? Well, let's just say we've had some interesting theoretical discussions about defensive applications." The pirates, apparently finished with their initial scans, began broadcasting their demands in multiple languages. The message was simple: surrender all vessels and cargo, or be destroyed. "They're using a standard attack formation," Tellenir reported. "They'll expect us to either flee or surrender. Their sensors will show them a science vessel and what appear to be unarmed mining ships. Then let's use those expectations," Chen said. "Observer Vextall, can your ship's computers handle the same kind of real-time calculations we used during the solar storm?" "Yes, but," Vextall began. "Good. Because what we're about to do is going to require extremely precise timing." Chen's voice took on a harder edge. "Mining vessels, initiate protocol rockbreaker." The transformation was remarkable. The mining ship's drilling arrays began moving in new configurations, their resonance fields shifting to frequencies Vextall had never seen them use before. The Eternal Curiosity's sensors detected massive power redirections within the human vessels. "They're approaching weapons range," Tellenir warned. "Let them come a bit closer," Chen said. "We need them inside the asteroid field proper for this to work." The pirates, clearly believing they had trapped easy prey, moved in for the kill, their weapons charged, ready to disable the seemingly defenseless vessels. "Now," Chen commanded. All three mining vessels activated their drilling arrays simultaneously. But instead of directing them at the pirates, they targeted specific asteroids in the field. The resonance waves struck the rocks in precise patterns, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then Vextall understood the brilliance of the human strategy. The resonance waves were propagating through the asteroids, creating a network of standing waves that grew stronger with each passing second. The entire asteroid field was becoming one massive resonance chamber. "Eternal Curiosity," Chen called out, "we need your computers to help coordinate the wave patterns. Sending you the frequencies now." Tellenir's patches flashed with sudden understanding as he saw the data. "It's like a vastly scaled-up version of their molecular mining technique," he explained to Vextall. "Instead of breaking apart single asteroids, they're using the entire field as a weapon." The pirates realized something was wrong, but too late. The resonance waves reached critical frequency, and dozens of asteroids began to fracture simultaneously. But they didn't simply break apart. They shattered in specific patterns, creating a chain reaction of debris moving at precisely calculated velocities. The pirate ships found themselves caught in an artificial meteor storm, but one where every piece of debris was moving according to the humans' calculations. Their powerful shields, designed to stop energy weapons and conventional projectiles, struggled to cope with the sheer volume of impacts coming from every direction. "Fascinating," Tellenir observed, his patches pulsing with scientific interest even in the middle of battle. "They turned the entire asteroid field into a precision kinetic weapon." But the humans weren't finished. As the pirates struggled with the debris field, the mining vessels moved into new positions. Their drilling arrays, still humming with power, now focused directly on the enemy ships. The same resonance technology they used to break apart asteroids, Vextall realized, can be used to detect weaknesses in ship hulls. "Exactly," Chen confirmed. "And with your computers helping coordinate our targeting, we can be very precise about where we place those resonance waves." The pirates never had a chance to adjust their tactics. The combined human and Concordiat system identified structural weaknesses in their ship's hull designs and targeted them with precise resonance pulses. Within minutes, all three pirate vessels were effectively paralyzed, their main power systems shaken apart from the inside out. "Engineering brilliance," Tellenir marveled. They didn't just repurpose their mining technology for defense. They developed an entirely new form of warfare based on principles of geological engineering. The disabled pirate ships hung motionless in space, their crews presumably stunned by how quickly their supposedly easy targets had turned the tables. Commander Chen's voice came through again, now addressing the pirates directly. "This is Deep Horizon Station. Your ships have been disabled. We are capable of using the same technology that stopped you to tear your vessels apart at a molecular level. I suggest you power down your remaining systems and prepare to be boarded." "A mining station that can defeat 3 warships," Vextol mused. "The Concordiat will need to seriously reevaluate its assessment of human military potential." "Oh, that wasn't military technology," Chen corrected her. "That was just creative problem-solving. You should see what our actual defense forces can do." As they began the process of securing the pirate vessels, Vextol found herself wondering about the implications of what she'd just witnessed. The humans hadn't just found a way to defend themselves. They demonstrated that their entire approach to technology made traditional distinctions between civilian and military applications almost meaningless. Their mining tools could become weapons, their sensors could become targeting systems, and their simple drilling ships could defeat dedicated warships through superior innovation. It wasn't about the technology itself, but about the human capacity to reimagine and repurpose their tools to meet any challenge. "Commander Chen," Vextol said, "I believe I owe you an apology. We came here thinking we were studying a primitive mining operation. Instead, we've been witnessing the future of technological development itself." "No apology needed," Chen replied. "But if you're interested, we have some other theoretical applications of resonance technology we'd love to discuss. After all, turning mining equipment into defensive systems was just the beginning of our ideas." As they began securing the defeated pirates, Vextol couldn't help but wonder what other surprises these remarkable humans had in store. One thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same once word of their capabilities spread. Legacy of innovation. 1 standard galactic year had passed since the events at Deep Horizon Station. Chief Observer Vextol stood before the Concordiat High Council, her final report ready for presentation. The chamber was unusually full. Representatives from dozens of species had come to hear about the humans' remarkable technological innovations. The artifacts from that pivotal encounter were displayed behind her: a deactivated human drilling array, schematics of their resonance technology, and a holographic replay of how they had transformed their mining equipment to survive both a solar storm and a pirate attack. "Honorable Council," Vextol began, her 4 eyes scanning the assembled dignitaries. "1 year ago, we thought we were studying a primitive mining operation. We could not have been more wrong. What we discovered was nothing less than a revolution in how we think about technological development itself." The holographic display activated, showing the human mining vessels in action. The humans don't just create technology. They create possibilities. Every tool they design is built with adaptation in mind. Where we see specialized equipment, they see platforms for innovation. Senior Engineer Telener, now head of the newly formed Human Technology Integration Division, stepped forward. His bioluminescent patches pulsed with excitement as he took over the presentation. "The implications go far beyond mining or defense," he explained. "In the past year, we've worked closely with Deep Horizon Station to understand their design philosophy. Their approach has already led to breakthroughs in multiple fields." The display shifted to show new hybrid technologies. Concordiat ships retrofitted with modified human resonance systems, more efficient resource extraction methods, and even medical applications using precisely controlled resonance fields for non-invasive surgery. "But perhaps most remarkable," Vextol continued, "is how this partnership has changed both our species. The humans didn't simply share their technology. They taught us how to think differently about innovation itself." The display showed scenes from the newly established Human Concordiat Technology Exchange Program. Scientists and engineers from both species working together, each bringing their unique perspectives to solve complex problems. The humans' greatest strength isn't their specific innovations. Telener explained, his patches glowing with admiration. It's their ability to see potential in everything. They've shown us that true advancement doesn't come from building bigger or more specialized tools, but from creating adaptable systems that can evolve to meet any challenge. Commander Sarah Chen, recently promoted to Director of Interspecies Technology Development, appeared on the main display via real-time transmission from Deep Horizon Station. The station itself had grown significantly, now serving as a hub for collaborative research between multiple species. What we've achieved together in the past year is just the beginning, Chen addressed the Council. By combining Concordiat computational power with human adaptive engineering, we've opened up possibilities that neither of our species could have achieved alone. The display shifted to show their latest joint project, a new class of vessel that incorporated both species' technological philosophies. It possessed the Concordiat's advanced computational systems and the humans' adaptable engineering, creating something entirely new. This prototype represents more than just technological advancement, Chen continued. It represents a new way of thinking about progress. Every system is designed to be adaptable, every component built with multiple potential applications in mind. It's not just a ship, it's a platform for continuous innovation. Vextal took over again, her voice carrying the weight of personal experience. When we first encountered Deep Horizon Station, we thought we were observing a lesser-developed species. Instead, we found teachers who showed us that true advancement isn't about the power of your technology, but about how flexibly you can use it. The display showed footage from the solar storm incident, focusing on how the hybrid shield system had not just protected them, but had actually grown stronger through the challenge. That moment, Vextal explained, exemplifies everything we've learned from the humans. When faced with a crisis, they don't just solve problems. They transform them into opportunities for growth. Every challenge becomes a chance to innovate. Every obstacle a pathway to discovery. Telner's patches pulsed with scientific satisfaction as he added, we've already seen this philosophy spreading throughout Concordiat space. Our engineers are no longer content to simply build specialized tools for specific tasks. They're asking themselves, how else could this be used? What other problems could this solve? The chamber erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. This wasn't just about new technology. It was about a fundamental shift in how civilizations could approach development and innovation. The humans have a saying. Commander Chen's image spoke again. Necessity is the mother of invention. But what they've taught us goes beyond that. They've shown us that every tool, every technology, every challenge carries within it the seeds of future innovations. We just have to be willing to see the possibilities. Vextal concluded her presentation with a final observation. 1 year ago, we revealed ourselves to Deep Horizon Station because we thought they needed our help to survive a solar storm. Instead, they showed us a whole new way to think about survival, adaptation, and growth. They taught us that the most powerful technology isn't the most specialized or the most advanced. It's the most adaptable. As the council chambers filled with excited discussion about the implications of these discoveries, Vextal shared a knowing look with Telener. They had come to study what they thought was a primitive species, only to find themselves students of a profound lesson in innovation. The legacy of those few days at Deep Horizon Station would echo through the galaxy for generations to come, not just in the technology they developed, but in how species across the cosmos would approach the very concept of technological advancement. In the end, the humans hadn't just shown them new ways to mine resources or defend against threats. They had shown them that the greatest resource of all was the ability to see every tool, every challenge, and every moment as an opportunity for transformation.